Hello and welcome to this Business Africa special dedicated to South African mining with me, Ronald Kato. Coming up this week, South Africa looks to mining to power its post-pandemic growth. The country seeks a twofold increase in investment in the mining sector by 2030. We report on what's being done to get there. Plus, there is more to coal, gold, platinum and diamond. South Africa is changing the narrative around its minerals, beckoning investors to take advantage of metals such as chrome, vanadium, and titanium. Stay with us for the details. Thank you for joining us. Even before the pandemic, South African mining was already on the back foot. Between 2010 and 2018, the industry saw a 10% loss in output, 50,000 jobs wiped out, and a 45% decrease in annual capital investment. A lack of innovation, bad rail and port infrastructure, and power cuts are to blame for much of the damage. But as Wandiswa Ntengento reports, Pretoria is working to raise investor confidence.
A strong area for investment in South Africa is the mining sector. South Africa is the world's largest producer of chrome and platinum. The country exports large amounts of minerals such as vanadium, diamonds, and iron ore. Mineral resources remain a key sector of the economy, contributing over $25 billion directly to the country's gross domestic product, while employing 450,000 people. While investment and activity trends fluctuated at the onset of the COVID-19 shock, commodity exports were 93% higher after 9 years.
What we're seeing a whole lot of late is a whole lot of activity within the platinum sector. Commodity prices have improved quite significantly of late, making platinum very attractive.
Another darling mineral in mining in South Africa are diamonds. The diamond industry identified a number of initiatives that could unlock the industry's potential. These include addressing the Diamond Export Levy Act and focusing on creating a conducive environment for beneficiating diamonds in South Africa. Entrepreneur Zipho Dlamini, co-owner of Tokos Diamonds, a wholesaler which buys diamonds from mine companies, then polishes and cuts for the local and international market, says while trading in the diamond sector has been challenging, beneficiation has opened new opportunities in the field.
The government, they take beneficiation very, very seriously. But again, it's up to us how important we take it and how we elevate that. We need each other in a way that jewelry companies, they won't survive without us, which is because it so happened that we're in the middle.
Some analysts believe that the good news for South Africa is that the increase in demand for commodities has led to the rise in investor interest in mining, which in turn has led to more foreign direct investment in the sector. Wandiswa Ntengento, Johannesburg, South Africa, Africanews.
My guest is Hans Kuipers. He's a managing director and partner at Boston Consulting Group. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Just how much, in terms of capital investment, will South African mining need to get back to its 1990s heydays?
It's very hard to pin a single number on how it was in 1990, right? But the investment that South Africa need to make are substantial, and they can be up to 700 billion rand if you think about all the infrastructure investments that need to be made, the exploration investments that need to be made, the expansion, the greenfield and brownfield expansion projects that need to be made to kind of get close to where we were in the 90s. But what the exact numbers is, of course, always a little bit difficult to pinpoint.
How serious is the impact of the pandemic on South Africa's mining industry?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think in the beginning, that impact was big, very material, right? I think if you take a more holistic view and where we are right now, we're in a bit of a commodity boom, of course, right? And that also allowed many of the mining firms to catch up from where they were prior to the pandemic. It's very hard to put a correlation between the pandemic and the commodity boom, but I think the disruption of the global supply chain did impact to a certain extent the commodity prices and the boom that we're going through right now.
There's a lot that needs to be fixed in order to spur growth back into the mining sector. Talk about energy supply and the state of rail and port infrastructure.
The biggest constraint that they face is the rail, right? For example, especially in the coal route from the Waterberg to Richard Bay is quite constrained. But you also see that on the Saldanha route, where manganese and iron ore are competing for the same rail capacity. And there is a requirement for a significant investment. Do we want to unlock that total potential that is there, right? It's not on the mining side, it's on, for example, the export side. These types of investments definitely need to be made if we want to unlock the potential of South Africa in the mining industry.
There are also questions, Hans, on sustainability and the energy transition. How does South Africa balance these two while keeping growth in the mines on an upward trajectory?
Many elements need to be weighed, right? There's a large coal industry that employs a lot of people, but it is also obvious that we need to decarbonize on the global stage. It's going to be a long journey, though, and we will need to manage social fallout. We will need to manage replacement of income streams around coal that we currently have, and at the same time manage Eskom and the grid, right, to make sure that we continuously have sufficient power to bridge the period until there's more renewable and sustainable energy.
Hans Kuipers, nice to have you. Thank you so much for your time.
Merci.
Now, South Africa's mineral resources are estimated to be 8 times the current size of its economy, standing at a staggering $2.5 trillion. The country attracted $194 million in exploration expenditure between 2000 and 2018, starkly contrasting with Canada's $2 billion a year and Australia's $1.8 billion a year. One of the gaps authorities say they are trying to fix is policy and regulatory uncertainty.
The mining value is the historic bedrock of South Africa's economy. The evolution of the industry has seen South Africa, a leader in the mining regions, experience currency and metal volatility. However, a McKinsey report states that the way forward for the industry is to unlock high potential mining assets. Vanadium producer Bushveld Minerals CEO Fortune Mujapilo believes South Africa has an opportunity to be a leading global innovator by regaining its lost share of the vanadium market.
So Bushveld Minerals Limited is an AIM-listed primary vanadium producer. We are a primary producer, which means that our main focus and our main product is vanadium. We operate out of South Africa, of the Bushveld complex, hence the name Bushveld Minerals. We combine one of the largest primary vanadium resource bases with about 500 million tons of primary vanadium resource across 3 deposits.
Mining is a critical source of revenue for not only South Africa but the entire continent. However, investors are concerned about policy and regulatory uncertainty.
We are concerned about the licensing of both exploration as well as mining licenses. Very large delays in approvals of that. Then a big issue is our transport and logistics, especially the bulk mining commodities like iron ore, coal.
Mining is one of the most energy-intensive industries in the world. In South Africa, one of the biggest barriers to achieving a just energy transition in mining is the balancing act between energy security and clean energy.
South Africa's Bushveld Minerals say they have started the process of implementing an energy transition plan to the business.
According to a PwC South Africa Mines report, the country's mines over a 10-year period showed increasing revenue. This was attributable to increases in both productivity and commodity prices. Wandi Swandengendo, Johannesburg, South Africa, Africanews.
And that wraps up this edition of Business Africa. I am Ronald Kato. The news continues on air and online. Bye for now, and I'll see you on the next episode of Business Africa.